Not necessarily. The closer we draw, the more I am inclined to conclude that these ruins belong to a more ancient civilization still. The Abyss Order simply got to them before anyone else.
Even older than Conria? Whoa. Paimon can't even imagine back that far.
That said, the architecture here does somewhat resemble that of Conria. At least, it would if it were the other way up. Let's head toward the light over there. Mind your footing on the way ahead. It's a long way down.
Black Serpent Knights! Is this where they're based? Or wait, are they guarding something here?
We are likely drawing near to whatever the Abyss Order is trying to hide. Let's take them out first.
Nothing lasts forever. Emerge.
Torn to oblivion! There is no escape!
Shot! Right here. Emerge. Right here. I'm always watching. Hey, look! Ferns! You should be able to climb up, right? Oh no! More Black Serpent Knights! Huh? They're not coming after us! Are they just trying to scare us off? Huh. These knights seem like they're hiding something behind them.
Hold on, I think they...
They're coming! Quick, get them! Show them. Right now. Right here.
Illusion shattered!
Verdict is...
I condemn you! Vengeance will be mine! Eye for an eye! Shine down!
That was the last of them. Now, let's see what it was they were trying to hide. Huh? What's this?
So, the Black Serpent Knights have nothing to do with the Abyss Order's secret. Huh. I should have guessed.
So, what exactly is going on with these hilly churls?
As I said, for these hilly churls, the end is nigh. They have grown old and fearful of the light, even become one with the darkness. And yet the curse continues to corrode them.
But why would the Black Serpent Knights want to stay here and guard them? More of them are closing in! It's him! The guy that came out of
Halfdan?
Whoa, whoa. What? You recognize him?
Could it be? If it's as I suspect, then this is a truly tragic state of affairs.
Dane?
You want to know why they were gathered here guarding the Hilly Churls, don't you? It's because as far as the Black Serpent Knights are concerned, they're simply doing their duty. The one who ordered them to retreat just now, I suddenly recognized him. I knew him as a young man, an elite in the Royal Guard of old. His name is Halfdan.
So, he's from 500 years ago too?
To this day, I still remember the final orders I, the Twilight Sword, gave to Halfdan on the day of disaster in Khaenri'ah, before I made haste back to the palace. Inform all Black Serpent Knights to protect the people of Khaenri'ah at all costs. Because we, of course, were royal guards. But this would mean nothing in the events that followed. Royals, gentry, common folk, these identities made no difference. Against the might of the gods, the only identity that mattered was being from Khaenri'ah. These Black Serpent Knights have lost their intellect, but perhaps, in whatever remains of their minds, they are still protecting the people of Khaenri'ah. If you see these ruins as Khaenri'ah in the throes of disaster, and these Hilly Churls as the people crying for help, then suddenly I can make sense of what I'm hearing. Their growls are less of a threat and more of a warning.
Then, what are they saying?
Though it is barely discernible, I can just about make it out. They keep repeating a word from the old language of Khaenri'ah. Run. Even I have to admit, the fact their will is strong enough to survive 500 years of erosion. It is nothing short of a miracle, born from hopelessness.
Oh, so Paimon had them all wrong.
It doesn't matter. Even I took them for enemies for a moment. Let's keep heading toward the light at the top. I believe the Black Serpent Knights will no longer try to stop us.
Time to scout. At least good luck doesn't discriminate by clan. Rack and ruin! Time to scout. More speed. Time to scout. Time to scout. More speed.
So, there's no Abyss Order secrets to be found here. Just a bunch of hilly churls, nearing the end of their existence. We probably shouldn't disturb them. Sure enough, we aren't seeing any more Black Serpent Knights. Guess that half-damn guy really did recognize Captain Dane, huh? More hilly churls, and they look really well protected. Dane, why so quiet?
I'm just thinking, nothing more. If you're trying to console me, I can assure you there is no need.
Fine. All these hilly churls want is to quietly fade away in peace. Paimon hopes they can get their final wish. Hey, look! There's no door sealing this room off. Looks like we can finally head to the room in the center. Come on, let's go! Paimon's never seen such well-behaved hilly before. Paimon wonders if it has anything to do with being an old soul.
Aristocratic etiquette is all just for show. Just smile and nod along. I was forced to learn all of the rules by heart, but even I don't take them that seriously.
Look! Up there! A water pool! Even the water pool is upside down. Oh, wow! This is a pretty amazing place! Dane, do you have any idea at all how it works?
The pool must be part of the entire city structure. A relic of this ancient civilization. And more importantly, it is the very thing that is weakening the curse. Here, my whole body feels more at peace than it has in a long time. The effect is stronger here than it was before. And I think it's because that water pool has something akin to a cleansing effect.
Cleansing? So that means the water in that pool can wash away the curse for good?
No, that would be impossible.
How are you so sure?
I have lived with this curse for 500 years, and I have been fully conscious the entire time. Suffice to say, no one understands the curse like I do. It is a way of branding us at the level of the fate of the world itself. When a god applies a curse, it takes effect at a higher level of reality than the person themselves. Even now, I can feel the curse slowly permeating my entire being, becoming part of me, slowly but surely replacing me. Perhaps it may be possible to suppress the corrosive effect of the curse for a time, but cleansing it entirely, consider it tantamount to burning away an integral part of your body. It is not a process that one could ever hope to survive.
Huh? Cleansing the curse cost you your life? Whoa. An irreversible curse. Paimon can't even imagine.
In any case, I can feel that the water's cleansing effect is not nearly potent enough. At most, it might suppress the curse, but a little.
So, what's that contraption there? It looks kind of out of place.
Frankly, I have never seen a device of this design before either. It is not unreasonable to suspect that it could belong to the Abyss Order. But what could they be planning to do here?
Oh, that gave Paimon a fright. So, all the doors are open now? Halfdan's back again?
Halfdan, do you have something to say to me?
He ran off, but he didn't disappear like last time.
He's indicating that we should follow him. Are you coming?
True. So, we going then?
More speed.
Halfdan jumped down over there. Let's follow him. Looks like Halfdan disappeared at the far end of this path.
Perhaps whatever lies ahead is what he wants us to see. Let's keep going.
There are more signs of hilichurl activity here.
More speed. Right now. Emerge.
Is that way into the hilichurl camp? Let's go see. It's a humble hilichurl camp. Oh, these hilichurls look like they're in pretty bad shape, too. Some of them look like they've already taken their final breath. Is this what Halfdan wanted to show us?
Whether it is or not, everything here is worth investigating in detail. Inspect the area. Leave no stone unturned.
Seems like These hilichurls have no life left in them at all. Before long, they'll become one with the darkness. The hilichurls we meet in the wild are always so rowdy. Paimon never would have imagined that this is how they spend their final days. We may not have a whole lot of happy memories dealing with hilichurls, but still, Paimon hopes they're at peace in their last moments. Hilichurls usually store food in crates like these, right? But these seem pretty much empty. Is it because they're so near to the end that they don't need to eat anymore? Even if they don't need to eat anymore, Paimon bets they still miss food for the flavor. There's even a bonfire here, like what hilichurls built. Wait, but wasn't Dane saying that hilichurls get scared of the light when they reach the very end of their lives? Maybe, in the very, very end, they still want to feel some light and warmth. Oh. Just thinking aloud here. Could also be another reason. How did that flower get this far underground? Did someone bring it in memory of the deceased hilichurls? Hey, now that you mention it, Paimon thinks it looks kind of familiar too.
It is the national flower of Canria, the Intivat. It once bloomed all over the nation. It would only last 2 weeks before wilting. But if you were to pluck one and take it out of Canria, the petals would stop growing and turn hard. Only when it finally returned to its home soil would the petals grow soft once more, and finally turn to dust. So the Intivat is a symbol for a wanderer far from home, signifying the tenderness of the homeland.
So for this flower to get here, it must have been brought from...
Your Highness, so the proposal finally has your blessing?
In focusing single-mindedly on confronting the heavenly principles, we neglected our original mission, the revival of the homeland. I should not have been so indecisive.
The device is almost ready. We await your command.
What are the chances of succeeding?
Theoretically speaking, approximately...
Forget it. Even a 1% chance is enough. For too long have we dwelt in the abyss. Surely they would rather return to the natural cycle of life and death as soon as possible than continue to exist as they are, without a shred of dignity. They cannot be made to continue paying the price for those so-called sins.
The Order is most fortunate to be graced with your decision.
Ether!
You saw something, didn't you? Can you tell me what it was?
Yeah, you zoned out for quite a while there.
Huh. Well, people do say that twins have a special connection. It sounds as if they are attempting to make use of certain equipment to cleanse the curse. It could well be the device we saw earlier. And you say he mentioned the revival of the homeland, correct? No surprise there. Stubborn as ever. It appears as if the Abyss Order plans to use this location to cleanse the Hilichurls of their curse and restore them to the way they once were. Then, they will serve as the foundation for reviving the nation of Khaenri'ah. After all, there can be no nation without a people. It is the height of foolishness. They have no chance of success, not even a 1% chance. I told you already that no one knows this curse better than I, having lived with it for 500 years. There is no redemption. There is no undoing the curse. Trying to remove it by force will achieve nothing but to inflict further suffering. So make sure you are clear in your mind. You have to tell yourself, they are no longer human. If you cling to false hope and allow yourself to become too emotionally invested, the only way is down. You will end up just like them, mired in hypocrisy. Save your strength for something worth saving. Oh? But of course, I am merely someone you hired for a task, while he is your brother. It is only natural for you to side with him. But whatever decision you make cannot deter me from mine. My chosen path is to stop the Abyss. If we have reached an impasse, then perhaps this is where we should say... I see. It seems that the 3 questions I put to you on our first meeting were worthwhile. You have developed your own individual views on this world. Very well. Since you have volunteered your true thoughts on this matter, I shall not hide mine from you. Right now, I have a more immediate agenda than stopping the Abyss. That is to say, the Abyss's actions here directly dishonor the final wishes of Halfdan and my other compatriots. I cannot allow this to proceed. The Abyss may appear at any moment. Be on your guard at all times as we proceed.
We can see the Upside Down City from here, too.
Wait, watch out!
What's going on? Is that light coming from the room in the center? It's too bright!
The mutation is continuing. Has the Abyss made its move already?
Genshin, I see your incessant meddling continues, and that you have once again joined forces with our Highness's kin. Regrettably, I was not in time to control your exit from the network, and it sent you here of all places. This was a catastrophic error.
I am surprised that you dare to face me. You ran like a coward last time.
Our Highness's will must be done. All interferences must be removed, whatever the price to pay. This time, the curse that torments our people must be undone, once and for all.
You are the only ones who torment them. There is nothing else left of those Hilichurls. Nothing besides the curse itself.
Say what you wish. I am going nowhere, Dainsleif.
Then you will give your life just to delay the inevitable. How absurd. But since you wish to persist, then so be it. You really really think you can use that device beneath the pool to cleanse this curse?
Do not underestimate the ways of the abyss. This device cannot provide the cleansing effects of the water not tenfold, but 100-fold.
Then I overestimated you. This plan is even cruder than I thought.
Blood of Frost! Eye for an eye! Shine down! Inazuma shines eternally! Illusion shattered! Show them. Come on out. Right here. I condemn you!
Verdict is...
The world will fall.
There is no escape! Right now, emerge! Eye for an eye! Torn to oblivion!
The end will
Rack and ruin!
The abyss shall rise.
Whew. You've been hunting this Abyss Herald for ages! Now you finally got him!
There's no time to celebrate. The Abyss Order's device is activating, but there's still time to destroy it.
Alright, let's go!
Look, the amplification device. Am I too late? They're in agony. This is no way for them to meet their end. Find a way to stop that thing. Halfdan, don't do it! I thought he would have been turned to ashes in an instant. Halfdan's soul is extraordinarily resilient.
Meddling fool! Encumber us no more!
Don't you have a greater encumbrance to worry about? Come on. This is your grand opportunity to get rid of me. Take him out and deactivate the device.
Behold!
I condemn you!
The abyss has come!
Shine down! Right now!
Truth,
What a nuisance! Right here!
the gift of grace! Peace be with you!
Nothing lasts forever. Right now!
Hear the truth!
There is no escape. Vengeance will be mine. Illusion!
Revelation. The truth shall set you free.
Come on out. Show them. Emerge.
The word
Rack and ruin.
of joy. Grace be
Shine
upon
down.
you.
Inazuma shines eternal.
And hope find you. The power of revelation.
Eye for an eye.
The truth
Right
shall
now,
set
right
you
here.
free.
Right now.
Hear ye the words of joy. Grace be upon you.
Illusion shattered.
The power of revelation.
Right here. Right now. Show them.
Hear ye the words of joy.
I condemn you.
Grace be upon you. Peace and hope find
Retribution! Is that all you've got?
truth shall set you free. Opened unto
What do we do now? The Abyss Lecter's gone, but the device won't stop. And Halfdan.
No! As long as the device is active, the cursed are rendered powerless. Only you can take on the Abyss. If you value his sacrifice, then do not waste any more time here. See all these rays of light and portals? They must have installed several of these energy devices in various locations. Find them, quickly!
So, we have to go through these Abyss portals? Hey! Wait for Paimon!
More speed. Right here. Is that all? Emerge. Shine down. Torn to oblivion. There is no escape.
The Hilichurls are really suffering.
Time to scout. More speed. Eye for an eye. Freeze to the core. Rack and ruin. Shine down. I'm always watching. Right now, emerge. Right here. Illusion shattered. Inazuma shines eternal.
Quick! Destroy the devices and put an end to the Hilichurl.
Verdictus?
Eye for an eye.
Is that all you've got?
Torn to oblivion. Shine down! Vengeance will be mine! I condemn you! Illusion shattered! A sight to behold. Right now. Right here. Rack and ruin! There is no escape! Inazuma shines eternal!
Okay, it's gone dark all around now. Shall we head back to the room in the center? So, that's it, right? The device is fully shut down now?
The burning sensation has indeed stopped.
So, we managed to stop the Abyss Order's plan?
Let me check.
Dane must be really upset. Of all the ways to be reunited with one of his former comrades after so long, this is rough.
Let's go.
Uh,
Light.
Apologies, Captain Dainsleif, Twilight Sword. Back then, I failed you, and failed to protect our people.
No. For 500 years, you have faithfully done your duty. To this day, I am proud of you all.
Conria didn't fall, did it? Since you're still here.
Correct. So, no need to revive the homeland.
that was Halfdan's soul.
More than one kind of strange power exists here. Souls are no strange sight under the circumstances. Still, if you intend to venture deeper in and continue your investigation, you ought to be careful.
You bet. We'll be super careful. Oh, but Dane, does this mean you're not coming with us?
That device took a severe toll on me. It will take me some time to recover.
Oh, right. Well, actually, Paimon already knew that. You've clearly been pushing through the pain this whole time. You've earned a good rest, Dane. Oh, you should take a vacation!
Vacation? The very notion. This word has no business being in my vocabulary. There are more important things that demand my attention. The Loom of Fate operation is still underway, and I suspect that these amplification devices are connected to that plan. Thank you for understanding. I only hope that next time we meet, you know whose side you're on.
Sheesh! He sure knows how to hold a grudge. Saving that snide remark right until the end? Well, shame that we didn't get to see your brother again. But at least we learned some useful info, huh? As long as you keep pressing on with your journey, you guys will definitely meet again. And everything will be back to normal. Right? Oh, Paimon almost forgot. The real reason we came here was to investigate what was going on with the Hilichurls, wasn't it? We've probably seen enough to report back to the miner now. But, how are we going to explain it to him? This is all way too complicated for regular people to understand. We'll figure it out. Just don't forget about the commission when we're done here.
Knights and aristocrats share the same cultural heritage, but the knights had enough sense to do away with all the superfluous detail. Aristocratic etiquette is all just for show. Just smile and nod along. I was forced to learn all of the rules by heart, but even I don't take them that seriously. I condemn you!
Damn you! Ah! Time for retribution!
Eye for an eye! Right now, right here, right now. Illusion shattered! Rack and ruin! More speed. Eye for an eye. There is no escape.
Is that all you've got? Ha! Ha! Burn!
I condemn you. Flood of frost. Rack and ruin. Illusion shattered. Right here. Right now. Ha! Oh, what a nuisance. Nothing lasts forever. Emerge right now. I condemn you. Time to scout. Eye for an eye. There is no escape.
Pay for that. Ha! Ha!
I condemn you. Huh? Illusion shattered. Shudder! More speed. Knights and aristocrats share the same cultural heritage, but the knights had enough sense to do away with all the superfluous detail. More speed. There is no escape!
Damn you! Verdict is...
Illusion shattered! Vengeance will be mine! Torn to oblivion! I'm always watching. Emerge, right here, right now. Rack and ruin! Yeah. Aristocratic etiquette is all just for show. Just smile and nod along. I was forced to learn all of the rules by heart, but even I don't take them that Shine down!
Damn you! Time for retribution!
I condemn you! Illusion shattered! Emerge, right now. Emerge. Rack and ruin! Flood of frost! I condemn you! Right here. Come on out. Emerge. You want to learn? More speed. Shine down! Right here, right now, right here. The odds are against us. Rack and ruin. Inazuma shines eternal.
30 years?
I condemn you! Vengeance will be mine! There is no escape! Emerge! Come on out! Ha! Ha! Ta! Ha! Nothing lasts forever. Right now. Right here. Eye for an eye! Illusion shattered! There is no escape! Right now, right here, right now. Rack and ruin! What do we have here? More speed. Time to scout. More speed.
Daqui estranho, eu lifted.
Eye for an eye. Illusion shattered.
First announced as a launch title for the Atari 600. Millions of years elapsed.
I condemn you.
Time
Flood of frost. Rack and ruin.
2012. Cyberpunk is released, and the game still isn't finished. Playing Cyberpunk right now is like playing an early alpha version of a game that is years from completion.
A sight to behold.
This is a free early access. Sony is actually issuing refunds for this game and has taken it down from the PlayStation Store.
Did everybody who buy on PS5, PS4 got a refund?
I don't think I've ever seen that happen to a big name release like this. More and more big titles
That
like
is
this are being
ridiculous.
released in an unfinished state, and it's gotten to the point where gamers are
Rack and ruin. Shine down. Right now. Right here. Eye for an eye.
Burning kiss.
Rack and ruin. Illusion shattered. Eye for an eye. Vengeance will be mine.
so conditioned to glitches and bugs they don't even notice them anymore. So when I actually hear people that aren't me noticing bugs and glitches, I think, oh shit, this game is fucking broken. That being said, the glitches are very funny. I think a lot of my enjoyment from Cyberpunk actually stemmed from the bugs. I never knew what crazy bullshit would happen next. Everybody just has guns out of nowhere, no matter what they're doing. This dude is stretching with a gun. This dude is lifting dumbbells with the hand he is currently holding a gun with. The hair physics, body animation combined with super detailed environments and lighting. Guns have unique animations. Cars have glossy exteriors and modeled interiors. When Cyberpunk is at its best, it can look very impressive. Unfortunately, Cyberpunk is rarely at its best. You can have all the fancy effects in the world, but the second characters start doing this, the illusion is ruined. Even during cutscenes, you aren't safe from bugs. Look at this lady in the background. What is she sitting on? Now she's drinking nothing. This woman was getting a surgery done on her, then I walked into the room and this happened. Once NPCs get spooked by something, they are permanently scared for the rest of the game.
Yep.
Character animations range from super realistic to embarrassingly bad. Every time someone gets in and out of a car, it looks like this. I had one mission where the time of day would just instantly change back and forth, and then you have all of the performance issues. From what I understand, playing Cyberpunk on a PS4 is like this. Most people getting this game are playing it on a PS4 or Xbox One, so this is unacceptable. I played this on PC and the frame rate was all over the place. I don't have the latest graphics card or processor, but my computer can usually run just about anything I throw at it at 60 FPS.
Doom is optimized though.
Cyberpunk would usually sit around 30.
Check, we don't agree, Chad, that even though it's not the most cutting edge game, Doom was super well optimized. It ran like water, dude.
FPS. Cyberpunk would usually sit around 30 to 40 FPS, but when it dipped, those numbers went down big time. If you can get Mario Odyssey running at 60 FPS on a Nintendo Switch, and God of War, Red Dead 2, Last of Us 2 running at a stable frame rate on a base PS4, then there really is no excuse. These are state-of-the-art games, but according to video game marketing, every hyped-up game is state-of-the-art, right? Cyberpunk is just straight up a very poorly optimized game right now. Let's talk about driving. The driving is like, it's about that good. I've seen some truly psychotic claims that the driving in this is on par with Grand Theft Auto 5. The people saying this should seek medical attention because something has happened to their brains.
I can put these
Your
to
car
good
will
use.
come to a complete stop from hitting a tiny curb and then also ram through a boulder in a car like nothing. But I mean, still better than Death Stranding.
Oh no, that was.
Cyberpunk is set in a truly dystopic vision of the future where OnlyFans became a larger company than Amazon. Night City is full of stunning architecture, neon lights, vending machines, obnoxious ads, and a disproportionate amount of strip clubs and sex shops. It would have been cool to see what a futuristic zoo looks like, or a stadium, or a museum, or, you know, anything other than a store called PP. Then there's the combat.
Ooh, the combat. I wasn't a big fan of it, to be honest. Huh?
The wonky gameplay nearly collapses under the frame rate drops and bugs. Mostly my dude would just walk around one-shotting everyone with a shotgun while sucking down inhaler juice. Enemies don't understand how to respond to you going past their cover spot. The hand-to-hand combat is possibly the worst ever in a video game. Every time you die, it's to a landmine that one-shots you. The combat music never stops blamming over everything, even after everyone has been dead for 2 hours. One time it even started playing the same song twice, overlapping itself. You'll shoot an enemy and they'll just get stuck on the terrain. This happened to me like 20 times.
I'm right here. Come on!
This dude tried to spawn in an elevator but failed miserably. Some enemies can do this, and I think that's the game functioning as intended. There are stealth options and watchdogs hacking to keep things fresh, but sometimes enemies will spot you through a wall or object because they feel like it. It's all so blatantly broken, but I mean, you know, still better than Death Stranding.
Death Stranding was really bad for that too.
Nice. You know what? You're right. It is nice out here.
Never been out this way?
No, I have. Just never noticed. Never had time to just sit down and watch.
What is that pop?
Then we got the story, which is the strongest element of the game, but also the part of the game that can't be patched or fixed. Even though you have a strong premise here, the story itself is very plot-driven. A lot of the dialogue is, we're gonna go here, we're gonna hack this computer, we're gonna talk to this guy, and this is how the microchip works, and this is how brain dances work, and this is how you write a program. CD Projekt Red, and I want this guy to hear this too. Nobody gives a rat's fucking ass about the minute details of fictional technology. That should not be the focal point of dialogue in your game. That should be information found like in a log file that's hidden under a bed somewhere. The story can also feel very disjointed at times. I picked the
guys. Why when I said this, people said it's because I was ADHD. When I said this, nobody agreed with me. The story felt hollow because I felt like I didn't know what was going on and where we were going. It felt hollow because of all this tech shit, dude.
Or a career worker who gets wrapped up in some disturbing corporate espionage. Then some dude snatches your microchip, so you have to quit your job immediately despite being so involved in this insidious plot. And then you instantly become a low-level gangster in a montage, and then one of your first missions as the low-level gangster is to steal a super secret microchip from the most powerful man in the world. On top of that, a dozen different characters are constantly calling you and giving you side missions at the same time you are currently pursuing a side mission.
You want to learn some Favonia's blade work?
That you forgot the entire premise of
then, I'll teach you. Oh yes, I'll teach you.
All of the most powerful moments of Cyberpunk happen when you can finally shut out the white noise and the barrage of bullshit information and actually focus on what's happening.
It's a Zoom call in game.
Another thing that worries me about this game is how many of these great moments will players miss, and how many did I miss? The minimap makes almost no distinction between the higher quality narrative-driven side quest and the Ubisoft tier copy and paste filler. I wouldn't be surprised if most people ended up completely missing out on my favorite questline in the game about the sentient soda machine because he's tucked away in a little corner. Likewise, the ending that I got, which was in my opinion the most satisfying one in the game, Steam says only 1% of people actually got that ending. I realize this is a very negative and critical video, but I actually did enjoy this game. Cyberpunk 2077 is carried by actors and animators, and it's refreshing to absorb those details in first person. I went into this thinking Keanu Reeves will be in here for like an hour, but no, he is one of the main characters, and it makes the game that much better.
That's kind of real.
Evelyn, Flaming Crotchman, Victor, Brendan, Judy, Pan Am, Rick Ross, Delamain, Goro, Kojima, and of course, Johnny Silverhand. These characters have more personality and soul than anyone from these games. And for that reason, I'd say this is one of the better open world
etiquette
games
is all
I've played.
just for show.
I would put it
Just
right about
smile
here.
and nod
So
along.
yeah, that's what I think about Cyberpunk.
I was forced to learn all of the rules.
Oh shit,
by
I
heart.
forgot about Minecraft Saturday.
Even I don't take it that seriously.
Chat all guys.
Can sprint and oh my god, it's so cool. Look at the jump animation. They've got all the sounds officially from Sega. This is insane. I love this. So you...
Yo, no, my iron golem.
What are we watching?
Why that thing? What did I...
On it. It would look pretty dope.
En ocelot armor, gott folk. Vi fick en ocelot armor. Undrar vad den ger.
What?
Oj, vad är det där? A whip? Whip it, picked up a whip.
Knights and aristocrats share the same cultural heritage.
To stream
but the
and run at the same time. It's just not though. It's a little bit like Zelda Ocarina of Time. Any percent. The category has been killed. People don't run the game anymore that much for entertainment. They only run it for the record. It's not. It's just not a streamable thing. It's not as fun. It's Suman Maxi.
Hello and welcome to Minecraft Live 2021. I'm your host and chief storyteller of Mojang Studios, Lydia Winters. We have an exciting show. Hear what's happening, cool humans making it, and they will give you the inside knowledge that no one
across different snapshots and offered some opinions on that and some feedback. And this kind of stuff takes a lot.
Imagine you want to buy a car. It could be this car. per that car.
A lot of time to do. It's research that the users are doing for us, and we get a lot of this stuff, and it just saves time, and that's time that we can use, of course, to make the game better.
That's so amazing.
Finding duplicates, asking for additional information, and it's
YouTube images for us to look at.
Dream and Technoblade want LA to win #1. Copper Golem, guys. Copper Golem actually makes sense in the game. Allergy is killing quirky, probably just a one-time use. Oh wait, this looks really good actually. Yeah, I've always enjoyed the side cave look of the mine shafts, but side caves like this aren't very. I mean, they don't exist very much. Now they do. These look really good. This is crazy. Yeah, it's new. Side caves that aren't mine shafts, no shot. They would just be like an entry, and that's it. That leads to some pipeline.
Wow, they're beautiful.
Yeah, what's interesting about this is when you look at that video, like initially the plan was just big mountains and natural looking cool mountains and caves, but as we started working on it, the scope kind of grew because we realized that.
So as you can see in the picture here, to the left we don't have blending. So then when you update your old world to the new world generation, it would just be like an ugly edge. But now, with blending, it's actually all smooth and pretty.
That's beautiful. That makes a huge difference.
Oh, cool.
And Henrik, I know the other part you want to show us with your own world.
Yeah, so what happens if you open your old world with a new version of Minecraft? And I took a look at what happens in my old world, which I've had for like 10 years, playing with friends and family. And let's take a look. So there it is, all the old stuff we built 10 years ago. But that's what happens when you open the world in 1.18. So it basically generates new caves beneath the old areas. And the idea is to create the illusion that was there the whole time. We just, we just didn't go there until now. And wow, look what I found.
Yeah. Don't look, Henrik. There's so many spoilers there under your world. So many cool things.
I was squinting, okay?
Okay, good. That's like the first
Why,
thing I'm gonna do
increase depth?
Update is just like digging straight down. Well, not straight down actually, but I'm gonna see what's under my base.
That's so cool. I just love that it adds so much to the existing worlds that our players have. And so you're keeping them safe and adding a lot to it.
And that's also an important thing. We seed, regardless of which edition they're playing, we'll see essentially almost exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's almost identical. And it's a thing in the community, you find a super cool location and you share it, like, look at this world I found. And before, you couldn't do that with players on the other edition, but now everyone can just share cool places together. And I think that's really nice.
It's really amazing. I mean, when you find these amazing, epic things in Caves and Cliffs Part 2, you obviously want to be able to share them. So seed parity is huge. I think everyone's going to be so excited about it.
So we're not 100% there yet, but close. It's very similar. Details will be different. But
seed almost parity.
Seed almost parity.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
That's what we're going to call it.
So I know everyone is. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Agnes and Henrik.
Thank you.
Well, that's too vague.
Caves and Cliffs Part 2 will be coming to a family. Yeah, maybe they're not so cute.
They're not so friendly, no. Yeah, last year we focused a lot on the Skulk sensor, but since then we've kind of been trying to figure out what do all the different blocks in the Skulk family do. And one of them actually is something called a Skulk catalyst. And the main...
Feel that you're inside the Minecraft world. Actually, like we are now. So beautiful. And find like a unique identity for different biomes. For example, the birch forest, as you can see in this beautiful concept art. So in the birch forest, we want it to be like light and peaceful, and the sun reaches the ground. The trees are taller, and the flowers. I things like that.
It's really
Stop it,
beautiful. It
my
looks
apologies.
very Swedish
No
in
more.
the birch forest. So
Yeah.
Yes, that's true, and that's the beautiful concept art. And as you can see here, the
Hey,
atmosphere is really
quadruple roll the
different
owner.
from the birch forest as well.
it really is. It's amazing. So we have a
It's
there's a lot of exciting things coming to the swamp. So what are we getting?
Swamp is
Yes,
boring.
there are a lot
Nobody
of
likes
awesome
the
things
swamp.
coming. The first of which is the boat with the chest in it.
Oh, that's actually kind of wicked. Well, that's a huge update actually. That is pretty dank. That's a big deal. That's not a lane that was very much needed into the game.
It's so useful.
And relaxing.
Yes, and especially now, you know, in Caves and Cliffs Part 2, we have even wider rivers, so it's easier to travel in water. So
Yeah,
it's
shulker
gonna be,
box for late
extra
game.
useful.
Yeah, and like in the aquifers as well.
Oh.
In Minecraft.
Yes, we are adding the mangrove tree to Minecraft.
Almost 3 years.
So as you can see here, this is a propagule, and propagules grow from mangrove trees. They're actually like ready to grow mini mangroves growing from the mangrove.
Oh, that's
and you
pretty
can see
cool.
here the mangrove tree grows propped up on root blocks. It has vines hanging down from the leaves. The
What color is that
propagules
gonna be?
are actually growing underneath the leaves. They actually grow from the leaves themselves. And I really like how the propagules are looking here. And okay, I'm just gonna nerd out on propagules. And then where they happen. Really
Groves. So cool.
Yeah. Wood type.
Sure. Is it that one?
And therefore we're so happy that we were able to add the new wood type for the mangroves. And look at it, I think it's really pretty. And you also don't see like all the blocks here. It's gonna be like a full set for the wood types. It's gonna be like doors and trapdoors and so on.
That's gorgeous. I love it.
I'm so excited with like back and forth and the like this picture. It's really nice atmosphere.
That's beautiful.
I really agree. And like when I was testing, I really loved that feeling. I'm
That
completely
doesn't make
surrounded
sense.
by them.
It
So
just
as you
doesn't
can
make
see in
sense,
this
though.
video, walking around, you're just completely surrounded in the mangrove swamp. It's just mangroves as far as the eye can see, just like in real life. And you have all the mangroves propped up on their roots, growing in the water, so you
Also
can
that,
take your
man.
boat underneath like Agnes likes. And you're just completely surrounded by the awesome beauty of it.
It's so beautiful.
Oh, and I mean, during sunset, every time I was testing, I would actually like pause the day-night cycle just to watch the sunset in the mangrove swamp. It was super beautiful.
That's absolutely gorgeous.
Otherwise known as mud.
That's amazing. So you've actually added mud to do something really
More
cool.
reasons to avoid
Yeah, so we're
swamp
adding
again.
really cool renewability mechanics to mud. The first of which
Nobody
is
likes
if you take
swamp.
a dirt
That's
block
even
and
more
pour a water bottle
less
on it,
reasons to go
then
there.
you can get more mud. And then the other one is if you take your mud block and you stick it on top of the dripstone, it will sort of like drip the water out of the mud and eventually dry it out, which turns into clay.
I love the renewable clay. Like I always
Wait
need
a
more
minute.
bricks. So perfect.
Yeah, your local mason isn't going to be super happy with you though.
That's actually true. I have this one mason, it's diamond tier mason in my village, and I always trade with them.
Well, you can farm clay now.
villager's
I know,
job.
They might be a bit upset
A
now.
clay farm
but
is
still
huge.
renewable clay.
Dude,
Yeah, it's
the only reason
really,
why you don't
really
do
cool.
brick
And
houses
you're
is that
also
clay
using
is
mud
such
to make a
it's
new
actual
block.
cancer to
Yes,
get.
we're also adding
If you
mud
can farm
bricks.
clay and to get brick,
So
and they
mud
can make
bricks
cool
are
brick
really,
houses.
really exciting, like building block. And as you can see here, the brick texture is actually different than the other stone bricks that we have in the game. So they're sort of smaller, more compact, but it is really cool, like to build with. It matches a lot of different block sets, and I'm really excited to build with them.
I just love the look of them. They're awesome. So beautiful. We have a creator question for the two of you.
These are
Mud bricks to the game is that I
Why,
really
but
wanted
how
people
could
to
they
feel
know?
I love playing Until Dawn or Man of Medan on
Yeah.
streams because
Here's why.
I serve because I love where I live.
That
I
enough
serve
sense to do
part-time,
away with
so I
all
can
the
study for my
superfluous
degree.
detail.
To be close to my family.
I serve to get a leg up.
And to lend a hand.
opening up about harassment needs to be a learning moment. LSF needs to take a long, hard look at itself. While it's not 100% of the users here, a sizable number play into toxic narratives that can be detrimental to mental health. For example, here's a thread on Reckful proposing over Twitter a few hours before he committed suicide. This guy is such an infant, it's pathetic. Unmedicated mental illness, yeah, I mean, like... Oh, no, no, no. Byron, you just posted cringe, bro. Like, I mean, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? How many more times does he get to use that excuse? And that got 13 points, and the person that said that it was a shit take got -6. No, there's no reason for this to happen. The mods just have to do a better job. If you see a hate thread about somebody, just delete it. Like, all they need to do is just make a rule like, okay, well, if there's a hate thread about somebody, just delete the hate thread. Hate threads add no value. They just make the platform worse, and they're also against Reddit's core rules. In a lot of ways, I'm surprised the subreddit at certain points hasn't gotten quarantined.
Hate towards livestream fails is unjust. This Reddit page simply shows clips of funny stream moments, fails, wins and streamers breaking rules. Livestream fails is no different from these esport journalists or the mainstream media cover same stories. Stop supporting censorship.
You're right that it's similar to mainstreamed media in the fact that it often misrepresents what people say and do on stream in order to promote a specific agenda. LSF can be redeemed, but the criticism is deserved.
I don't understand why LSF is such a big deal to streamers. Just don't go there and read stuff if it's detrimental to your mental health, like Forsen does.
Issue is that even when you don't read it, it's undeniably a large part of the community, and the content that's posted there will influence public opinion and make its way back to your stream and social media.
So viewers' opinions are a problem? I got to idea. Get off the internet so you are safe from others' opinions.
This is a completely reductive way of looking at the problem and ignores the entire premise of why people are concerned with LSF. When viewers have their opinions influenced by biased sources and misinformation, how is that not an issue?
May I remind you what you said, because it seems you have forgotten.
The it I was referring to was the intentionally misleading information and out-of-context clips that are used for the sole purpose of pushing a false narrative about someone. Maybe that was unclear, but I'm surprised you disagree. You've had hundreds of people do the same thing to you.
The overall point that you're trying to make is LSF shouldn't exist because people will have a bad opinion of a streamer and they will go to their stream. But you say a streamer that is clearly biased in favor of streamers. Your opinions on LSF is sending hate to LSF. Small brain new L.
When did I say LSF shouldn't exist?
I was being dramatic, but if you want to criticize LSF, then LSF can criticize streamers.
Sure, LSF can criticize streamers, but can you agree that there's a difference between criticism and misinformation?
Give me an example of the misinformation.
Sure. This week XQC talked about paid charity events and was clipped out of context and used to demonize other streamers who previously did charity streams under a false assumption.
Explain how it was out context. XQC was right, some streamers do get paid to do charities. How is LSF to blame? What did LSF do wrong?
It was out of context because XQC went on to clarify and explain the situation in more detail, but that was left out. LSF is to blame because it caused them to attack other innocent streamers who were doing charity streams under the assumption that they were doing it for money.
So you're going to honestly say that no one watching XQC when he said this live on his stream left that stream questioning streamers if they get paid for charity events? It was only the LSF clip that caused people questioning streamers?
No, it wasn't only the LSF clip that caused it, but LSF was certainly a contributing factor in promoting it and spreading a false narrative that streamers had to defend themselves from.
False narrative? So are you saying that no streamers get paid for charity events? What XQC was not false and the clip is not a false narrative. You are just wrong.
Reality, some streamers get paid to do charity events. Clip. Most streamers get paid to do charity clips. Actual XQC statement. Some streamers get paid to do charity events. False narrative. X streamer does paid charity events and lied about it. Does that make sense?
Most, some, not really much of a difference. XQC and his statements are #1 reason people questioned other streamers about their charity event. To blame LSF seems incredibly dishonest.
There's a huge difference between most and some. Some could mean 2%, most means at least 50%. If LSF is where the misinformation is distributed, how are they not partially at fault?
It's not misinformation. It's a clip of what he actually said in that moment. Most later he said some, regardless the result is the same. Viewers will question streamers if they get paid for charity. LSF did nothing wrong.
Witch hunting other streamers based on a false narrative is 100% wrong. Them having to come out and defend themselves from a lie is also wrong. LSF is partly responsible for both of those things and should exercise better moderation to avoid misinformation being spread.
It's not a false narrative. He said what he said on video clip.
Yes, it is. It left out additional context, and by leaving it out, people got the wrong idea about what actually happens. That is literally a false narrative.
Have you ever shown a clip on any of your platforms out of context?
Ever? Probably yeah.
I know for a fact you have.
Then why did you ask?
Just so we're clear, you're guilty of the same exact thing that you're accusing LSF of.
I think we all are. That doesn't mean we are immune from criticism for doing it, LSF included.
So yeah, Keemstar, I got in a debate with Keemstar yesterday on Twitter.
Still using a default browser that looks so boring? Switch to Opera GX, the first browser built for
Twitter. So Keemstar was saying that LSF is completely innocent and didn't do anything wrong. We got to the point in the argument where it's like, well, streamers can criticize LSF, or sorry, LSF can criticize streamers, but streamers can't criticize LSF, right? And that's basically what happened. Now, I was kind of annoyed by that, honestly, and I thought it was kind of a dumb. I expected like something smarter out of Keemstar. I thought that was kind of dumb, and I don't know really why he said it the way he did. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me, to be completely honest with you guys. It just didn't. Smart guy Keemstar? Well, the Keemstar is a smart guy. Like, he's a smart guy. He's run a YouTube channel forever. He's come out ahead. Like, every single controversy that's ever happened, Keemstar has weathered the storm. Like, and that's gotta mean something, right? I mean, like, this guy can survive a nuclear explosion. It doesn't matter. Like, he can call people the N-word, he can dox them, he can fucking drive somebody, or at least participate in, making somebody mentally ill that ultimately led to their suicide, and all of these things are fine. And nothing gets him. Like, he's Teflon, man. Nothing sticks. And to an extent, I'm like, wow, that's kind of impressive, I mean, not in necessarily a good way, but it's impressive regardless. And I see what happens with this guy, and so I don't know. Like, I don't understand why. Like, to me, it was weird. Like, I didn't understand why he didn't see my point. And it felt like he was trying to misunderstand what I was saying, which is one thing that I don't like, because whenever people, they take what you say and then they turn it into something that's not. And that's very, very annoying to me, especially like, and then one thing he said to me is like, well, have you ever taken anything out of context? I'm like, yeah, probably. Like, yeah, I mean, sure, probably. And I think that the way that you handle, like, here's a bit of advice, right? Whenever you have somebody who's very accusatory or anything like that, who's like super, super vindictive and accusatory, the best way to handle it is to just be completely honest with them. Because it takes the wind out of their sails completely. Because if you just say, yeah, like they weren't expecting to see that, to say that, And it's the best way to have like an honest conversation. It's kind of like the best exposure for bad ideas is sunlight sometimes. It's kind of the same way. And like I don't know, like the LSF thing, obviously, like there's been a lot of people talking about LSF recently, and I can see why, of course. And LSF, like this is kind of like my opinion on it, is that LSF is redeemable. I don't think that LSF is irredeemable. Like, for example, I remember all the time, like, where I would just go watch clips of Shroud playing PUBG. Like, that's it. I just watched clips of Shroud playing PUBG, and it was great. Now, here's what my concern is with LSF, is let's say we shut down LSF. Let's say we decide all the streamers get together, they lobby with Twitch. Here's how to shut it down, by the way. You just DMCA every single clip of yourself on Reddit off of Reddit, and they won't be able to post anything. Like, that's how you do it. Like, there's no, like, fucking, like, magic, like, oh, I don't know how this works or whatever. Yeah, you just DMCA all of it off. Like, Twitch could do that immediately. And that's something that's at their own discretion, but I don't want them to do that. That's the thing, is I don't want them to do that. Here's why. Is that, you know what happened whenever Ice Poseidon shut down his subreddit? Ice Poseidon 2 happened. And then there's another Ice Poseidon as well. And the subreddits are just going to, they will multiply. And it's not actually solving the problem. Like, deleting the subreddit does not solve out the problem. Or does not solve the problem. That's really what my concern is. You know, Reddit used to be a safe space where you can have your opinion. Well, the thing is, like, nobody ever wants to have different opinions in the same place. Like, most people just want their opinions to dominate other people. Can't destroy negative energy? Well, you can in a way, right? You can minimize it. You're never actually going to destroy it, but you can minimize it to a point where it's negligible and the community doesn't necessarily reward it. And I think that's really what the main problem is with something like Reddit. Is like, if somebody makes a really, like a bad joke, like a mean joke about some streamer, and then, you know, it's funny and it's genuinely funny, right? I mean, like, let's not pretend like there are never any funny jokes that are made at other people's expense. There's plenty of them. But the fact is that you have LSF, and those comments get upvoted, and it creates a feedback loop that rewards people for shitting on streamers and shitting on other people. And that's actually what the problem is. That's really what the issue is. It's the reward structure that's around it. And that's what I don't like. The problem is social media. Don't use it, problem solved. I feel like that's probably the most reductive way of looking at it, and I disagree with that completely, and here's why. So I know that there's a lot of people that, like, they use the one-hand logic. Oh, okay, well, if you don't like LSF, then just don't read LSF. Well, here's what the problem is that, for example, my comment about the charity stream on Thursday went on LSF. And then I had people that weren't watching my stream, but they saw LSF, read that, and then come to my stream. So what happens is there's a feedback loop where the person says something, and then it gets clipped, and it gets put on this third-party website. And, you know, whether it be Reddit or Twitter or anything like that, people discuss what's happening, and they create a negative like a negative sentiment about that person, and then they take that negative sentiment and then they inflict it on the person by going back to their stream. So it does come back around and fuck you in the ass, and that's basically what it is. Basically, that's what happens, is that you have these people and they go and they put up these they put up these threads about somebody, and the thread is deliberately done, it's deliberately written in a way to promote, like, some degree of a false narrative. And, like, one thing that, like, was really surprising to me about the Keemstar situation was that, like, he's been the victim of mischaracterization and clips taken out of context more than anybody on the internet. So, like, he knows more than anyone how much of a detriment that is to somebody. And even if he feels like it shouldn't bother him, like, mentally, or it shouldn't bother you mentally, well, no, I mean, like, no, he feeds off it, sure. But, like, what I'm saying is, like, Keem says, like, according to him, there are a lot of clips that have been taken out of context. Is that right? A lot of clips of him have been taken out of context, according to Keem. And from that logic, it would make sense that he would not want to see something that proliferates taking clips out of context. You see what I'm saying? So what ends up happening is that, you know, he has a clip taken out of context, and let's say he thinks that should not bother you mentally at all. He still lost his G Fuel sponsorship over that. He still lost other sponsorships over that. So even if you can make an argument that it doesn't actually hurt you emotionally or mentally, or it shouldn't, you can't make an argument that it will not affect you. Well, what I'm saying is, like, good? No, well, that you might think that it's good, but if you understand it from his perspective, it would not be good. Because from his perspective, a clip that was used to mischaracterize him in a way that he did not intend was then used to cause him to lose financial stability. So I don't think that's a good idea, right? Like, fundamentally, like, everybody can clap and cheer for this because it's Keemstar. But the reality here is that this could happen to anybody. This could happen to anybody. You could have a clip taken out of context, or you could have something that you say that's like there's no, there's like nothing else really to it, and it's just baiting you for new content on YouTube. I don't think it's really baiting or anything like that. I mean, like maybe, I mean, you never know with Keemstar, but that's not the main thing. This is Ronhill the Zion Man. Defending Keemstar is never the route, even if you ideologically think it's sound. Well, the only reason that people are telling me that is because they're so emotionally invested in the situation that they can't look at it logically. I'm discussing a situation that has a parallel to what we're talking about on here. So obviously, yeah, just listen to what I'm saying rather than just immediately, you know, go into some conclusion that I'm defending Keemstar. I think Keemstar has done a lot of bad shit. And I think that also some of the bad shit that he's done is not actually as bad as people make it out to be. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't 100 other things that he did that were bad too. So it's like if I say, oh, well, you know, maybe he didn't do this one bad thing and this is, you know, misunderstood, then that means that I'm okay with everything else that he does. That's not it at all. And so anyway, the point that I'm making here is this. It is not healthy for the platform to have a space where people can lose their livelihoods based off of something that is intentionally misrepresented. That is not good. And I think everybody can agree with that. Like, let's say you have a sponsorship for 20 grand a month, or let's say you're a smaller streamer. You've got a sponsorship for $1,000 a month. You've got a G Fuel sponsorship, and you make total $3,000 a month. And you have a clip taken of yourself that's out of context. It was like maybe something bad that you said. It's like a 2 out of 10 on the bad scale, and the clip makes it seem like it's a 7. And what ends up happening to you is that you lose your sponsorship, and you go down from making $2,000 a month to $3,000 a month to making 2. That is a massive fucking difference. That is a massive fucking difference. And I don't think that's something that we should look forward to or promote or celebrate at all. And that's pretty much the way that I look at it. How are you? I'm doing good, man. And rich people don't know what small is. Well, what I mean is, like, even for Keemstar, for example, like, he's had this happen. And that's really what I'm trying to say. Is he's had this happen, and based off of that, I expected him to have, like, a better perspective on it, considering it's something that's happened to him. Now, obviously, that didn't happen, but that was my expectation. Does that make sense? No offense, but imagine a world that needs you of all people to make disappoint people. Well, yeah, well, a lot of people don't get this because everybody likes to celebrate whenever somebody else has something bad happen to them, even whenever the bad thing that happens to that person is unfair. And I feel like that's a very, very bad, it's a bad precedent to set. I don't like that at all. And yeah, you have to be consistent, because if you're not consistent, then people are just going to use the same shit against you. Did not. Okay, that's the way I look at it is that with big streamers like you should create a new Reddit, not allow your videos to be on LSF, and moderate the new Reddit in a more conscious manner. I think that there's value to be had with a community-driven subreddit, and like with streamers moderating it, I feel like you'd get into the situation where there'd be almost like no...
I condemn you.
It's very hard to actually give constructive criticism on Reddit, and I don't know exactly why that is. I feel like it probably does have to do with the upvote and downvote system, but there's plenty of other things that are kind of that do contribute to that as well. And I don't know, like maybe that would be a good idea, is just have like all the streamers kind of make their own subreddit. But whenever someone does not believe in mental health and pops up on one of these same day Rectal passes away, deserves to get fucked. Well, here's an example, right? So let's say somebody steals something, and then the person, somebody decides that, you know what, he was stealing something, I'm just gonna shoot him. And he shoots the guy and kills him. Well, he was doing something wrong, right? He was stealing something. But did he deserve to get shot? Probably not. That's what I'm really trying to say. is that just because something bad happens to a bad person doesn't mean that the system that created the bad outcome is a good system. And that's really what I'm talking about. Now, you can be happy about Keemstar getting in trouble or losing his sponsors or whatever you want to call it, but I don't think that necessarily means that it's a good thing for the platform. And that's really the main thing that I'm trying to get at. Does that make sense? And I think this is kind of what the issue is with cancel culture, and this is why it keeps happening, is because people end up celebrating it whenever it happens to a person that they don't like. And because that happens, there's somebody that doesn't like everybody, and that way, somebody every single time whenever they get canceled has a group of people that wants it to happen. And that's really what it is. And really want to hear your opinion on how you'd hold Keem accountable for his actions then? Well, if I was YouTube, because YouTube is obviously the platform that, what do you call it, that Keem is mainly on, is I would look and I would see if, he's a positive influence in the community or not, and I'd make a decision based off of that. I'm not going to say that I would ban him. I don't know, like probably, maybe, I don't know. But the point that I'm making is that it's possible. I would permaban 100%. Well, I don't want to say that I would permaban somebody. Like, I don't know exactly every single little bad thing Keemstar has done, but I would look into it and make a decision, of course. And I think that's really what it is. Like, I don't want to go on. It looks bad if I have an argument with somebody on Twitter, and then the next day I go on my stream and I say I want to ban them on YouTube. It just doesn't look good for me. So hopefully that makes sense. So doesn't allowing toxic people bad to be endorsed by these companies just encourage Spurs to act in the same way? Well, I think so to an extent, but the problem is that once you start going after people's sponsors, you create a system where you reward people and you send your audiences after innocent people that are just working at the company. Like, I remember whenever the Keemstar versus H3 thing happened, tons of people that worked at G Fuel were getting attacked by, H3 fans because they wanted to get Keemstar taken off of the brand. And that's not something that's good at all. I don't like that at all. And didn't Keem start that shit though? I mean, you can say like whoever started it or whatever, but the point is that like whenever you have people go after sponsors, the outcome of that is you militarize your audience into attacking innocent people that work at the company. And that's really what it comes down to. If you feel that way, you should just message and send something to their customer support and make a decision that way. But I think going after people's sponsors is a bad idea, and it's not healthy for the space at all. No. That's really what it is. And everyone starts losing. Yeah, exactly. Anyone in a normal career would probably lose their job if they said some of the things Keemstar has. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I'd pretty much agree with that. But the thing is, like, as I said, I mean, you guys have to understand, like, I'm not really defending what Keemstar has done or anything like that. But I do think that it's important to, whenever you have somebody who is, acting like an asshole, that you don't just resort to doing things unfairly because you feel like they deserve it. Because if you do that, I'm not going to say you're no better than they are, but you're still a piece of shit. And that's really what I think about it. The thread yesterday opened up some dialogue between us and our users, which confirmed our suspicions that the subreddit needs drastic change. The first of these changes is becoming more transparent in the actions we take and why we take them. In all honesty, the mod team has been in shambles for a long time now. Moderator burnout took a hold a while ago, and there's been a little effort put into fixing it, so we feel now is the time. The first change we will be making is a rules reform. The rules are in a sorry state with a lot of gray areas for individual mod biases to hide in, and strange inconsistencies that are very confusing for a user's perspective. These inconsistencies make it appear as if harassment is allowed against some streamers or not others, or if we're defending aberrant behavior while censoring the good people. The changes we're making with the first step will be implemented very soon, aimed at solving these problems. The second installment of this change will be in the form of a concise infraction system. As mentioned, we've been, okay, so basically people are gonna get in trouble. Another one of the proposed changes, we will allow streamers to opt out of being posted on the subreddit. Currently, we do not allow this as any internal vote within our mod team, but this decision was made before all the recent drama and needs to be reconsidered. Additionally, we realize that a subreddit with almost 1 million people cannot be managed by a small handful of mods that we currently have, and we will be looking for more moderators as soon as possible.
Time to scout.
So,
Rack and ruin.
Obviously this is good.
Be mine.
Like, obviously this is a good thing. Would you opt out of LSF? No, probably not. I mean, like, the thing is that here's what you don't need to have streamers opt out of LSF. All you need to do is that whenever a thread is made that's just for the intent of shitting on a streamer, or there are comment chains being made that are just shitting on streamers and it just turns into a hate thread, just delete those comments. There's no value in having them. And I don't think that this is some sort of like this is not a positive force to have people just like, oh, well, what are you saying? Are we banning criticism? No, but like a feeding frenzy talking shit about another person over and over and over, and just like people like basically circle jerking about how much of a piece of shit they are. Like, this is not healthy for a community. There's no reason for it to exist, and I don't think that it helps anybody by it existing. That's really what it comes down to. But censorship? Well, it is. It is censorship, and I don't think that it's a bad thing in this case. It's important to make sure that you grow your community in a healthy way, and you just delete hate threads. Like, that would be a brilliant way of dealing with it, just right off the top. Just fucking delete hate threads. Like, harassing somebody and just like personally attacking another streamer or another person online or on Twitter or something like that. This is not something that I think is worth keeping. This is not something that's good. It adds no value at all. It's a pure negative.
Rack and ruin. Shine down.
Level up your Hearthstone game with Firestone to track all cards remaining in your deck, as well as your opponent's hand.
There could actually... Before I do that, I want to talk about a little bit of drama, okay? I want to talk about a little bit of a situation. There's a lot of individuals that are not happy about me on Twitter. I'm gonna tell you why. You know, like every once in a while, like some Twitch streamers will get together and they'll tell themselves that, well, we're all not gonna stream for one day and that's gonna send a message to Twitch. So they did that again recently. They did that again. And I called it out, and I think that, number one, it's slacktivism. Okay, it's slacktivism. Like, you're gonna take one day off? Oh, wow. Jeff Bezos is gonna fucking be quaking in his boots. Oh my God, he's gonna be afraid, he's gonna be terrified that you take one day off. Meanwhile, nobody fucking watches you, right? So it doesn't even matter because you don't affect the audience that the website has. So if you don't change the amount of fucking traffic the website gives at all, then you're not gonna make an impact because you didn't do anything. And that's a tough fact. So there's a lot of people here. I'm gonna show you guys a tweet here. This is an individual who was not happy with me. And this tweet now has over 1,000 likes. So this is an individual, right? Our expectations were low, but holy shit, you just said the quiet part out loud. I don't know how many times I've been criticized for saying the quiet part out loud. I don't know how many times I've been criticized for saying what you're not supposed to say. And you know why? Because everybody else is afraid to say it. People are afraid to just be out with it. They want to live in a fantasy world. Here, I'll read this as an article that somebody wrote. And I'll read this real quick. Nobody gives a fuck if you take a day off. Nobody knows who you are. That's the truth. You can't get a bunch of 20 Andes. They put in brackets small streamers together and think you're going to do anything. Nobody gives a fuck. So I said this, right? And there's a whole lot of people calling me an asshole. They're right. But there's nobody saying I'm wrong, because I'm not. Listen, if you want to make an impact, if you want to do something, you have to have a plan of action. You have to have something that you want them to do. And the truth is that you don't have any people that really have any sort of influence. And that's the truth. I said I would do it if other people did it. But I don't want to be the only guy out there doing it, because I'll explain why. I will explain why. It will have the same effect as Ninja moving over to Mixer. No one cared. It didn't matter. It didn't change anything. Because one person doesn't do anything. It has to be everybody together. Because if one person leaves, they just go over and watch another streamer. So whenever I see these, and these are 314 quote retweets. This is a lot of quote retweets. Asmongold is a piece of work. No empathy or humanity left in his bigot heart. Asshole being asshole again. Wouldn't surprise me if he was actually in favor of the hate raids. That's right. The fact that I call into question the methods means that I actually want people to make bots that spam people with the N-word. Yes, of course, that's the logic that's going through this individual's mind, okay?
Right now.
Like, that's basically where we're at. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and hit these people with a little bit of reality, okay? This got nothing to fucking do with the hate raids, specifically about, like, any race. You're stupid if you think that. How many times has my stream had to go into sub mode because people are putting fucking bots in my chat? How many times? It used to happen to me every single day. These people are taking an issue, and I think it is a problem. This affects me too. Like, just as a cis white man, this affects me because just because they're not telling me that I'm bad for being a minority doesn't mean that they're not using their bot to promote their Twitter. This is a problem for everybody. Of course it's bad. Seems like an awfully long article for he's trash and shitty entitled cishet white dude for equally shitty fans. I always find it to be interesting whenever people use being white as a negative pejorative, and they too are white. This is a form of mental illness. It's not good for you to feel that way. If you think like that, and you think that's the reason why I don't care about it, you don't even understand the issue. You don't even understand what the implications of these things are. These are people who are upset and angry at the world, and they're angry at Twitch, and they don't even understand why it's happening. They have no idea what's going on. Stay a sheep in a flock while the smaller shepherds take the helm of the movement and lead the herd. Listen, if you people, you individuals that are talking shit to me all the time, hating on me constantly, insulting me, insulting my physical appearance, insulting me based off of immutable characteristics that you so desperately hate to be insulted by. Absolutely hypocritical. Complain about toxicity, and in the same sentence, insult my physical appearance. If you have an actual way to solve this, I will be your champion. But you don't. Find a way to solve it, and I'll support it. But you don't. Asmongold dude is a real pile of shit. What a pathetic man who clearly doesn't give a shit about small streamers and only cares about the money. Why do people like this get the big following and the big money? I mean, he is right though. True. True. Just having a big streamer would help out loads at a day off of Twitch. See, these people don't even understand how Twitch works. And that's evidenced not only by this, but the fact that they're fucking small streamers. They have no fucking idea how the website works. They don't understand how viewership works. They don't understand viewer behavior. They have no idea what's going on. They're just mad, and they're looking for something that they can tweet about to make themselves feel better and act like they're doing something. They got no idea. Viewers will just go watch somebody else.